Hey, it's Mel. Today I'm starting a new sketchbook after completing mine a few days ago. So I'm starting with my favorite part, which is decorating. I think that's like a lot of artists' favorite parts. So I've been collecting so many stickers from markets and from shops online just for this moment. But honestly, I'm so indecisive of what I want to put on the actual sketchbook. But I ended up choosing stickers that represents my interests recently, like farming simulators, Dungeon Meshi, Fields of Mystria, and some stickers that I got from some friends. I tried to write like sketchbook number 3 since this is my third sketchbook for this channel, but it wasn't really like aligning the way that I wanted it to, and I ended up hating it. So I ended up trying to maybe like do like a red box and drawing something in it, but it just looked weird. So I ended up just covering it up with one of my sister's stickers. So for my first page, I usually do self-portraits, and this was based off of just a selfie I took at a recent goblin market when I was just waiting for the market to begin. I tend to show up really early to markets, just because I get like kind of anxiety about showing up late and then being in people's way while I'm trying to set up. But I'm painting with the acrylic wash. I've really been liking how they've been like applying to this paper. I'm using the Talons Art Creations sketchbook. I like this brand of sketchbooks a lot for like painting with gouache because I tend to paint pretty thick. But for my first couple layers, I water it down a lot just because I still want to see my sketch. As I go, I like to layer a little bit thicker to create like more defined shadows, but it does take a while to get through like this process. And honestly, editing, like watching my raw footage, I realized that I draw and paint so slow because it just takes me forever to decide what I want to do. So this is like sped up like times 8, and it's still a little slow, but um it's always fun to, paint myself in this particular like character, I guess, is my Sona, my vampire Sona. And even though my hair was straightened in the reference picture, it's always normally curly, and I like how my Sona looks with more like bouncy, fun hair. It's always intimidating starting a new sketchbook, getting the sketchbook anxiety, but I find that since I'm more comfortable with drawing myself, I tend to gravitate towards that a lot. I do a lot of self portraits for like my oil paintings and stuff, which I haven't done in a while. I've honestly been trying to get back into drawing traditionally because I've been doing a lot of like looser stuff tradition on no, on Procreate, sorry, which is fun. It's a nice change of pace, and it is like a lot of low pressure drawing. But I do miss the feeling of creating like more, I guess, completed works or more colorful works and layering things on with gouache. I think gouache is one of my favorite mediums besides oil. I think being an artist and having cats, it's inevitable that somehow, some way, your cat is gonna get into your paint. And I got this kitty literally like last week. It was Saturday night, and I was just in my room playing video games. I didn't really have much planned. And my friend texted me saying that their neighbor had found this little kitty like underneath his car for like the past 2 days. So they were able to catch her and put her in a box, and I was like, okay, I'm on my way. And I had to like beg my dad to let me take the kitten home. And at first I was like, yeah, no, we'll just watch her for a few days and like, take her to the Humane Society and stuff because they didn't have food for the kitty. And I really wanted to take care of them and feed them at least, even if I can keep them. But my parents said that I could keep her, and I'm so happy, even though she tracks, she tracked paint like all over my tablecloth, which is fine, Gosh, it's water based, so it's not really that big of a deal. But she's so adorable, and my other cats are getting used to her as well. But it's just nice having like this little baby around. She follows me everywhere. She sleeps next to my head on my pillow. Makes me feel like the chosen one whenever a kitty cat gets close to me. I personally have a really hard time painting hair and rendering it. I tend to just go with like the most basic way to convey that it is hair because I'm not very skilled at like depicting it realistically. So I think in a lot of my artworks the hair kind of falls flat compared to the skin. But because this was more so of just like a loose sort of blocky sort of style that I was going for, it didn't really bother me as much. And my hair has grown out, my roots have grown out, so it's like I have like this halo of like orange and yellow and red across my head. And I initially got the hairstyle because I wanted to be like a mix of Rengoku and Alice Cullen because I had rewatched the Twilight movies. But it's nice to see how it looks when it's starting to grow out a little bit. Moving on to rendering my shirt, uh, it was a lot of trusting the process. I wanted to work a bit like from dark to light, or at least defining where I wanted the prominent creases and the shadows to be. I usually always just go for just like a very simple, just all black shirt or something when I'm drawing myself. So this was a nice little challenge. I definitely had to trust the process on this one because I think rendering denim is also kind of hard. It doesn't really convey denim that much, but to me, I think it turned out nice. Just because I haven't really done anything like this before. Painting clothes is a bit intimidating for me, but I do really like the way that it turned out once it was finished rendering. I love putting like really chunky highlights on things when I paint, as well as like really defined outlines, especially with gouache. I think that I don't know, it just adds it just makes it like more visually appealing to me at least. It gives like that more painterly sort of look because I personally don't really like lining things with like microns or anything just because I'm not very good at it. But um I don't know, it's just I'm really proud of the way that this is going, especially the sleeves of the shirt and how like the light is kind of like in the inner part of my sleeves, if that makes sense. I like that I don't know. I would say that my style isn't like fully realistic or truly like semi-realism either. I do like to reference like photographs that I've taken or like real world people or poses or stuff that you find on Pinterest. But I like the sort of like stylization that I've developed over like the past couple of years and the semesters now that I'm done with school. It gives me a lot more time to create what I want to create. Even though I adored going to art school, there were like some parts of it that were a bit limiting in my opinion. I'm just like the type of person, I don't really like being told what to draw and what to create because I just get like immediate burnout. There's like still life after still life after still life. And nothing wrong with that. I think it's important to learn the rules so you can break them, and I think those foundational skills really helped me like come into my own and find my artistic voice, especially with critiques and stuff. And I like spent so long wishing that I could be done with school, and now that I'm done, it's like I really don't know what to do with my time, and I kind of miss being surrounded by like other artists my age in that environment where you can critique each other, you can learn like new skills and how people approach art differently than you. It was just a nice environment, but I'm grateful that I have opportunities to meet other artists, like through markets and social media. I kind of have gotten over my fear of rejection because, like, every single artist that I see that I want to be friends with, I'll either message them or go to, like, go to their booth if I meet them at a market, like, directly face to face and be like, hey, do you want to be friends? And like a lot of the times they'll say like yes to be nice, but then they won't really reach out. But the people that do, keep in contact with me, I'm very grateful for. I've made a lot of amazing artist friends over the past couple months, and it feel like you kind of need that sense of community, or at least I do. I think my favorite part about painting with gouache is being able to like just doodle on top of it and how like it's like smooth but crunchy, if that makes sense. It's like crisp. Not crunchy, I'd say crisp. So I like to incorporate more of like my looser style, like my doodles, drawing my tattoos on it because oh my gosh. I feel like tattoos are my whole personality now because I have so many. I get like a new one every week. I just love them so much. And my tattoo artist is awesome. But I think that was my favorite part of this whole thing. Painting it is fun, but it's always like nerve wracking because you don't know how it's going to turn out until it's done. But with doodling, on top of something, it's like, okay, I know like what this finished product is going to be, and if it looks bad, it's a little bit intentional because, it's a doodle, so it's a lot more low pressure in that sense. So I drew on like my tattoos. I gave myself like earrings and a little necklace that I always wear. I got oh, we got another kitty. But now I'm just drawing like just some doodles of some things I like. First drawing Cat from Animal Crossing because I adore her so much. And my me character. I don't know why. Me's are kind of hard to draw to get them like when you're doodling it. I'm sure I could do like a fully rendered thing. But just like from looking at it, same with Pikmin. I don't know. There's just like so many things that like go into it, like the proportions and stuff, which is crazy because their designs are so simple. But yeah, I'm just doodling around with just things I like and little things that I like to draw. And here is the finished piece. I'm really excited to document my sketchbooking journey on this channel and try and be more consistent with art making and content creation. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Uh, I would love to see you again in my next video. Thank you. Bye bye.